Hello friends, welcome to the English class. Today we again have a vocabulary lesson. In this lesson we are going to learn how to choose the right word. It's very important to choose the right word depending on the context, whether it is an informal context or a formal context. For example, if you are talking about children, children is a neutral word. If you are talking about children and with your friends, you can, if somebody asks you, where are the children? Oh, the kids are playing in the park. Kids is an informal word for children. But a very formal word for that is offspring, which many people don't use nowadays, but you should know the meaning because it is used in legal terminology and maybe in some history text you might find. Basically, kids is informal and you can use the word children as a more formal or a neutral word. So if you go to your the school where your children are studying and you can ask your teacher how are the children doing in their studies, and don't say how are the kids doing, because this is a more formal word. Similarly, if you want to invite your friends to your place, you can say come over to my place sometime tomorrow. Place means your house or flat or room, wherever you stay. Come over to my place. That you can tell your friends. In a more formal way, you can say please come to our flat, please do visit us at our house sometime. But in a very formal situation, say the president, the house where the president stays, that is called as his residence, the president's residence. Or another word is abode. Abode also means house or residence, the abode of the gods. Abode also means place where they stay. Next, if we look at this word, alcoholic beverages. This is a very formal usage of the word. Informally, you might know the word booze, or in a more neutral way, drink. Shall we meet over for some drinks? That is a neutral way. Booze is a very informal or casual word. Then again, the next word I have taken here is mate. Mate as a noun meaning friend. He is my friend. You introduce somebody formally. Mate is an informal word, say your roommate or your classmate. And a more neutral word would be pal. Pal also means friend. You might have heard of the word of pen pals, where you have friends across the globe and you communicate through mail to them. They are your pals. Somebody is very intelligent, we say, in a formal word. In a more neutral way, we can call them as clever. So formal and neutral can be interchanged. And in an informal way, we say, oh, he's a brainy chap. Brainy again meaning clever. He'll be able to solve the problem very easily. So you have to be careful. When it is an informal context, don't use a formal word. And when it is formal, don't try to use very informal or casual language. Now generally, informal words are short. For example, if somebody asks you at home, where's the milk? You might reply, the milk's in the fridge. Here notice the spelling, the milk apostrophe S. This short form for milk is. The milk's in the fridge. Fridge is short form or informal for refrigerator. At home, we don't say I've kept this in the refrigerator. What do you say? I've kept this in the fridge. Fridge is informal for refrigerator. Similarly, while taking leave, what do you say? See you, bye. Bye, informal, short form for goodbye. When you meet somebody, you say hi. Again, informal, short for hello. You want to ask about somebody's parents. How are your mother and father? Instead, you can simply say, how are mom and dad? Mom and dad are doing fine. So that is again informal. Or you want to know where your professor is. Where is Professor Rao? He is in the lab. Lab, short for laboratory. If you want to give your house on rent, somebody might suggest, why don't you put an ad in the newspaper? Ad or advert, again informal, short word for advertisement. Let's say you're planning a party and you want to invite everybody. Then you offer to ring them up or call them up. What do you say? Shall I phone them? Phone them means telephone them. Instead of using the full word, you just say, shall I phone them? And also for certain professions. Let's say somebody's brother is a doctor. He introduces him as a vet. My brother is a vet. Vet is a V-E-T. It's a short form for veterinary surgeon or veterinary doctor. A veterinary doctor is a doctor who treats animals. So as I said, be careful to use the right word in the right context, otherwise your English will sound very funny. Look at this. Do you fancy an appointment next week? Now here fancy, what is the meaning of fancy in this context? Fancy means would you like to go? Now appointment is a very formal word. You fix up an appointment with your lawyer or your doctor or your manager. But imagine it's a young boy asking a girl out whether she'll come out with him next week for a movie or to a disco. Then he won't say, do you fancy an appointment? It doesn't sound good. What does he say? Fancy going out? This is what I mean as using the right word in the right context. Again, if you meet another parent in the school meeting, don't say how many offspring do you have at school. That is too formal and people will look at you very oddly. So then you say, how many children do you have? No thanks. I never consume alcoholic beverages when I'm driving. Let's say you are gone to a party and your host offers you some drinks and you have to drive home. So you don't want to take those drinks. Then you say, I never drink. No thanks. I never drink. Or no thanks. I never touch alcohol. Don't say I never consume alcoholic beverages. This becomes a very, very formal usage which is used maybe in notices and not in casual, informal talk with your friends. Coming to the very formal language, that as I told you is used generally in notices. You might have seen this sentence sometimes. Consumption of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. What is the simple meaning of this? You are not allowed to drink here. So consumption of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Another notice, do not alight when the bus is in motion. Just look at the language. This is very formal language. Now what is the meaning of alight? Alight means to get down from a bus or train or car, get down from a vehicle. So do not alight when the bus is in motion. When you learn vocabulary, learn the meaning, learn the opposites also. So instead of what is the opposite of alight? When I say do not alight, let us say you want to get into a bus, then what is the word you use? Opposite is board. You board a bus. You board a train. You alight from a bus. Okay? And when the bus is in motion, motion means movement. So what would be the opposite of the word motion in this sense over here? You should board the bus only when it is stationary. Station, and be careful with the spelling A-R-Y, stationary. If you use E-R-Y, then it means pencil, paper, etc. That's stationary. Here this word stationary with an A means that it is standing still. It is not moving. See this next notice. We regret we cannot accept checks. What is the meaning of the word regret? Regret means feeling sorry. So casually with your friends, you don't say I regret doing this. You say I'm sorry that I did this. But here it is a notice. So where they use the more formal word regret. We regret we cannot accept checks. You might find this notice in some hotel or some supermarkets. And a more casual word would be we are sorry we can't accept payment by check. So do try to understand all these words, and whenever you use anything, please use the word in the right context. Don't use very casual words when you are in a formal setting, and don't use formal words when you are speaking with your friends or acquaintances. Let's meet in the next lesson. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please come back to Geeta's Kitchen for more lessons on learning good English. Thank you.